Welcome, folks. So we're here at Abington High School. So the Colonials versus the Ghosts, and obviously it's just Halloween. The Colonials are facing the Ghosts. We're hoping that the mantra for this week has been Ghostbusters. So we're hoping they ain't afraid of no ghosts, and they're ready to get this one underway and beat Abington back pretty good.
Well, I feel like a focal point here to watch for the Colonials is that their triple option that they love to run. I was talking to some of their players in school, and they said that they don't know how Abington's going to come out and defend it, so this could be very dangerous for the Ghosts. Another important information is that an article had the Colonials negative 17 points against the Ghosts. The Ghosts were favored to win 38-21.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost disrespectful as Colonial offense, considering that 21, I mean, that would be, 14 points under what the lowest they've scored in the year was? And, I mean, this Colonial offense churns out points, and they weren't happy about that. We heard a lot of players talk about the importance of containing the quarterback, so that'll be something to watch out for later in this game, and we'll see how much the home crowd, obviously being a playoff game, will impact this one, and I think we'll have a good one ahead of us.
The winner of this game will go on to play the winner of Garnet Valley versus Owen-J. Roberts, November 8th.
Here's the opening snap, which will be a handoff to Dresden. Great run there for Dres. He's able to pick up what I would say is about 6.
It's a solid carry. You want to establish the run game early, and that's a good start for the Colonials, as they have all throughout the season.
For sure. I mean, that is what the bread and butter of this team has been for this entire season, even part of last year, has just been that veer system that they've been using. And, fantastic stuff for the Colonials here with this running game that has been so deadly. Again, we told you so many different options. Now with another Pierce back, you have almost 4 different options with both Pierce's, Pacello, and Dresden in the backfield. We saw Pacello's in motion, and Dresden, a great run there. That'll pick up first down for the Colonials and put them on the, I would say, about the 26-yard line. 29-yard line.
Well, coming in this game here, Dresden is first in the SOL in rushing, while for McLaughlin, he's third in the SOL American in rushing. So that rushing tack is really good. You got 5 capable players of running the ball, so it's very dangerous for other teams' defenses.
There's the direct give to McLaughlin, who's taking it down the field. Colonials' offense does not seem to falter at all in this, and their first 3 consecutive downs have been rushes of over 5 yards. So Colonials look great on offense as they're just churning out yards here.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Something that they were preparing for heading into this game was playing on grass. All but one of their games this year have been played on turf. The one game on grass was the loss to Cheltenham. So they were practicing all week on grass, except the one day when it was totally covered in rain and the grass field turned into a mud field. So they were on turf that day. So it looks like grass isn't an issue for them today.
I would say here, maybe look for another play to Dres. As it is, it's a snap to Dres. Dres will take that into the red zone, as I believe the Colonials will be setting up shop here on the, great spot there by the ref on the 9-yard line of Abington.
I'd say by now they're well into Troy's field goal range. Troy's only 2 for 6 this year for field goals, but his long is 32.
That's great for a high school kicker. You couldn't ask him more. And there's a snap over to Pierce. Looking to try to do something here as he's moving past. That'll be a pickup of maybe 3, maybe 2. A little chilly there tonight, so I actually was talking to some offensive linemen. I said, I noticed in all the games you guys don't wear any sleeves. They are not allowed to wear sleeves in these games, as it makes it easier to be able to push off of them, as well as showing a sign of strength for the offensive line.
There's no rules for that. They just call each other soft if they were to wear sleeves. That's a simple answer I can give you.
I mean, I would want some sleeves. It's cold out there tonight, folks.
That is true. Saw that the forecast was in below the 40s today, and it's nice and windy, making it hard for any kicking.
And they give to Dresden, which will put him on the 1-yard line. Or no, they signal, and that's a touchdown for the Colonials. Just like that, the Colonials march right down the field. You could not ask for a better opening drive. I believe that was a 6-play, maybe 42-yard drive there for the Colonials. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That almost looked like the opening game of the year when they just immediately put the ball right on, who did they open the year against?
That was against William Tennant.
William Tennant, when they had a fantastic opening drive to start the year, and now they will continue this year's playoff run with a fantastic opening drive.
That score only occurred in under 3 minutes. Only 2 minutes and 59 seconds came off the game clock. That's something great to see, them scoring early.
Choi with the kick. And that's right through the middle as Colonials take a 7-0 lead. So, as we've seen in a lot of the wins that they have this year, the Colonials score quick and they score often. They go up to almost 30 going into the half in almost every one of their major wins that they've had at home. And obviously, it's looking like they're playing their home style. We don't have a great crowd there tonight, and I don't blame them as we had a bus that was supposed to go out there, and then there's a whole debacle with that. And it's freezing cold, and this is not an easy drive. It's almost 30 minutes for us, so, but definitely the Colonials came here off the bus.
Well, the Colonials, speaking of how they've been scoring 40.8 points per game this year, while only giving up 12.8 points per game. But an interesting note about that 12 points allowed per game is that it's only about 4 points allowed per game when the starters are in there. I feel like the common thread we've been seeing on defense was the starters being able to hold the opposing team, but the second stringers not being able to come in and hold the shutout. But in a playoff game like this, I mean, I feel like, you shouldn't have to worry about second stringers coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
Close game tonight.
I really would say something key there was that fantastic opening kickoff return by Pierce. That set the Colonials up in a prime spot to be able to do some damage, and obviously they were able to take advantage of that.
See, I agree with you there, too, just because they got the momentum right out of the gate. I feel like that was a pivotal part.
Take the home crowd out of the game. We have a squib kick there by Choi, and that will set up Abington at about the 28-yard line.
I feel like with a windy night like tonight, I feel like you actually want to sky kick it, maybe give the kick returner some struggles. Now, coming onto the field for the Abington is quarterback Tamir Berthew. Now, Berthew is about to be the third quarterback in Abington history to throw and run for 1,000 yards in a season. I know he's only about 6 yards away from rushing for that mark, so that's a great achievement for him. Congratulations to him.
I mean, that is fantastic, and I was talking to a lot of players this week, and they said he's really the focal point of what the Colonials are trying to do on defense is just contain him because he is so deadly. Obviously, being a dual-threat option like that with his running. I believe we'll have a false start there by the Ghosts. We'll see what the ref signals here.
It's interesting there to see them start out with an empty backfield formation.
Yep, and that will be a 5-yard penalty on the Ghosts. So definitely not how you want to start a drive with a little bit of a miscommunication there by the offensive line. That now sets them up with 1st and 15. And, again, you want to try to get the crowd back in this game, make a big momentum play, and, costly mistakes like that in a playoff game where it really is a game of inches could really end up being a deciding factor at the end of this one.
Yeah, in a game of inches, 5 yards can really prove to be a deciding factor.
Oh, yeah. We have a handoff there for Abington, and he's immediately stuffed. That was, I believe, Hannon of the Colonials.
Yeah, Hannon's been doing a great job filling in. Looks like that rush there was by Andrick Welsh, the senior. Yeah, with the injury of Zach Trioli in the Cheltenham game, the middle linebacker is such an important position on defense. There was a giant hole in that position, but junior Danny Hannon and sophomore Nate Kern were really able to step in and fill that spot.
Abington looking to maybe do a pass play here. Nope, it's a keep by the quarterback, and now he's already able to pick up a decent amount of yards there.
Looks like those are the 6 yards there to get him to his 1,000 mark.
Yeah, I would say so, and that will put Abington in about 3rd and maybe 9. Yeah, 3rd and 9 here on the 23 as we're at the 8:05 mark here this first quarter, and already we see the quarterback's trying to establish his own running game. And so we'll see here what they do. I could see a pass play here, to be honest. Go a little bit aggressive.
Well, going off the empty backfield formation, I would also expect that.
And it's another keep for the quarterback. Scrambling. And we'll see as he's trying to go up the sideline, and he picks up maybe 3 there. So it'll be 4th and about 6 here for the Ghosts. I could see them punting. Obviously, they're deep in their own territory. And not the great opening drive you want to see for the Ghosts there. That really very ineffective. And we saw the quarterback was able to pick up a couple yards, but you need 10 yards to get a first down, and that's not going to do it.
Well, according to them here, since they got the false start in their opening play of the possession, they really needed 15 yards for a first down.
Great to see the punt unit out for Abington this early in the game. Nice little kick there for about 25 yards. And recovered. That is number 3 of the Colonials.
I believe that is they had Zion East and Christian Pierce out there because the windy night, you never know what's going to end up.
I like them giving Zion a lot of reps. He's a sophomore. Obviously, like we were talking about last game, he'll definitely be able to work his way through the ranks. He had a fantastic sophomore year on the JV squad. And I know in the middle school he had a lot of really great years there. And obviously, you want to get him some reps. Being in a big game like this, build some positive notes for him to be able to build off of next year. We see the Colonials move back. I believe that might have been an encroachment on the defense on the punt because I saw a little bit of motion in the front there, and the Colonials got moved back. So they will start this drive on the 28-yard line.
I remember last game, senior night against Happer Horsham, East was able to break off for a really long run. I think it was roughly about a 40-yard touchdown or something like that, I believe.
Coach Chang here signaling to McLaughlin as he might want to change the play call here as he's not liking the formation he's seeing out of the Ghosts.
Well, I know they were really doing the best they could to try to game plan for their defense, but they were unsure. There's the option right there.
Pitch play to Pichello's. He's going down the sideline.
They were unsure how Abington would guard the option, so looking like that, it looks like Abington's not doing a great job guarding the option to this point.
Fantastic pickup there for the Colonials that again almost puts them at midfield.
This offense came out ready to play, and that's something great to see. A concern coming in this game was how they would be able to fare in close games. They've only played in one, I guess, true close game this year against Cheltenham, which was their only loss. So I guess if it's not a close game, it won't be an issue.
Exactly, and again, as we were saying, in so many of these other games, it's that four-headed monster. And there's Dresden with a nice little pickup of about 5 there for the Colonials. And so you have so many different options. You have a pitch play out to the side of players like Pichello. You have gives up the middle to players like Dresden. I mean, it's just so hard to try to guard, and especially on a night like tonight when you have a back like Dresden who's so powerful. He hits so hard, and it's cold. You feel those, and they hurt, and you do not want to have to tackle that and be in the way of that. And if you just keep running it and running it and running it, the Ghosts are really going to have trouble, especially if it keeps working for the Colonials. And it's another keep for McLaughlin. He's able to pick up probably about 3 there for the Colonials. And they'll be setting up for about 3rd and 3 here on the 50-yard line, or past the 50 on the 53-yard line.
Well, McLaughlin's arm, I feel like this is something I always want to talk about. McLaughlin's arm, it's a solid arm. It got him to be 6th in the SOL in pass yards this season. His legs got him to be 3rd in the SOL in rush yards this season. But I definitely feel like his best trait as a player is running that option.
He's able to read defenses brilliantly here, and we see another give to Dresden. And he's tangled up there as Colonials will be unable to pick up the first down there.
Although the punt team has not come on the field yet, and it looks like the offense is staying out there.
Wow, folks. This is, a very aggressive call by Coach Chang, so we'll see if the Colonials end up being thankful for this one.
They did get an encroachment earlier in the drive, so maybe they're just trying to force a penalty here.
Definitely, that's a pro move that you see coaches like Belichick do, trying to outsmart the other team's coaches, and we'll see again if they're doing that or if they're really for real about it. I think they are, as we see all the players in motion. There's a give to Dresden, and he will pick up a first down there as he puts the Colonials past midfield now onto the about the 36-yard line of the Ghosts.
Well, I feel like a difference maker is NFL punters. You could kick them from their own 40-yard line. They'll be able to pin you right in the corners. But at this level, I feel like every 5 yards for a kicker is a lot. Remember, Troy broke off a punt earlier this year in, I believe, the Quakertown game.
I believe, yes.
Roughly,
yes,
I
that
think
was
it
the
was about
Quakertown game.
55-something yards.
I'm interested. Maybe that groin injury is kind of coming back a little bit because I noticed at the end of the game last week he was doing a lot of those lower kicks like that. And there's a handoff to Pichello's. He's going 10-15, folks. He's in there. Easy peasy touchdown there for Pichello. This Colonial rush game, I mean, I don't know if the Ghosts have an answer for it. At halftime, for sure, they're going to need to make some adjustments because the Colonials are running all over them. This is a track meet at this point for these Colonial backs. As that's Pichello's first touchdown of the game. So we have a touchdown for Pichello and Dresden. As he took that one, 36 yards into the Abington house. And, again, you couldn't ask for a better start for the Colonials as they're already pushing the issue, and they're up by 2 TDs.
Well, I know we were just discussing how would Abington come in here and defend the option, and right now they look helpless out there. You see there, they came all the way and they tried to stop McLaughlin and Dresden, but
kick is good by Choi.
Having a triple option at this level is such a pain for defenses. You just don't know who to go after, and I feel like teams kind of forget about Pichello. He's the 5th leading rusher in the SOL American, so it's kind of hard to forget about him.
It's so funny how we have so many top 5 rushers in the SOL, and one of them's a quarterback, 2 of them are running backs, and Colonials with some really great players there.
Well, I'll tell you this much: I feel like if Christopher Pierce never got injured, I feel like he would definitely be up there.
Oh, for sure,
for that.
For sure.
I know we saw last game. Christian Pierce was getting a solid amount of carries. He was taking the workload off of him.
We hear they're playing the Ghostbuster theme again there, as several players went to the band and told them that they had to play the Ghostbusters theme, and they practiced it. They got it down. And they were excited to play it. And they said they'd play it often, and especially after every score. So pretty funny to hear that. I would say that the Abington Ghosts right now look like a ghost that everybody knows, and it's not a scary ghost, but Casper the Friendly Ghost is they're really having some trouble bringing down this Colonials offense.
Or as Sam Darnold said after his very poor performance against your Patriots, that he was seeing ghosts. Well,
I think they might be too.
I think the Colonials are seeing a different kind here. I think it's your good friend Casper.
Yeah, and that's another squib kick by Choi. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the squib kick here, Jack, but that puts Abington at the 36-yard line. And, again, not really sure. Maybe Choi is having a little bit of an injury problem, or is Chang trying to establish a different form of kicking here, given the weather? I'm not really...
See, I don't have the information here on Abington, but my theory would be that they have a very dangerous kick returner back there.
That would make sense.
Maybe they're just trying to avoid him. Like I said, I don't have the data to prove that, so that's just a guess for me.
We have a motion here by several players on Abington. So they changed their alignment. And, yep, I think we'll get a false start there by the offense. We'll see what the signal is here.
I believe that is Abington's third pre-snap penalty, and there's still 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
Costly.
That's definitely an area of concern there for the coaching staff.
I mean, again, the game is on your side right now. You want to get the ball down the Colonials' throat. You really want to reestablish yourself offensively. And starting off on first down on this opening drive here, or on this drive here, is not what you want to see for the Ghosts at all. And they really need to make some adjustments there and kind of get each other on the same page. Again, like I was saying, one of those calls. And we have another motion here. We'll see if that's on the Ghosts again. If that is, we're really looking at trouble here. And it is.
Jeez, 1st and 20. Now that's just trouble right there before they've even ran a play.
I mean, now you're starting back. You have 20 yards. You had 10 when you started. Now you're at 20. That is so hard to try to get a first down on, especially considering that you're at this point in the game. The Colonials' defense has been containing you brilliantly. Their offense you don't have an answer for. You really want to try to do anything to get yourself back in this game, and they're taking themselves out of it.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I was talking to a lot of the Colonial players, and they're worried about playing a team like Downingtown East, which they came very close to. Abington's a 6 seed. Downtown East is a 4 seed. But I just remember talking to some of the players. I was talking to Snack Davis, and he was saying how McLaughlin would stand within 3 feet of him, and he wouldn't be able to hear a single word he was saying, that it was an NFL-type crowd with the loudness and the noise. But I feel like for Abington, this is a home game, and I don't understand why all these pre-snap penalties are such an issue right now.
Yeah, and we had a keep there for the quarterback of Abington. He was able to pick up 3 there. But, again, you don't need 3 on 1st and 20. You need a little bit more than that. So I'm really interested to see what kind of calls their coach calls on this next one. I think you almost need a pass play. You need something. And that will be complete to number 11 of Abington. He's now working down the sideline. And it's nice to see a throw there, but, again, only chump change considering that you're working back so far on the chains there. And we'll see. I think that's a pickup of maybe 3.
I don't think the Colonials have faced much against the empty backfield formation yet this year, but it seems like they're faring very well against it right now. That was definitely part of their game plan heading into this week on what to do in situations like that. The pass game, though, although the Colonials barely have any weaknesses, the secondary definitely is their biggest weakness. They really struggled against them the whole season.
And we have a fumble here by Abington as the quarterback's just desperately trying to fall on it, and he does. Folks, I don't know if they ate too much Halloween candy yesterday or what, but this team looks very out of sync, and they're really having some troubles. They're not punting deep in their own territory to the Colonials, which, again, I think would set them up at about midfield here. So, really, Abington, I don't know what they need to do here, but they really seem out of it tonight. And
I mean, this Abington team is averaging 35.5 points per game, and I don't know if they forgot the wrong jerseys and this is the wrong team, or I don't know what's going on here, but they really do look lost out there.
They're really having some trouble here. And here's a deep punt out of his own end zone. And about a 45-yard punt there to Pierce as he picks that one up as he's on the 40. 30 working along the outside, and he'll bring the Colonials again in an awesome spot to start this drive here.
I guess the field position battle is also proving a big deal into this game. And when your defense is holding them to 3 and outs and causing 4th and 100,
yeah,
you're going to win the field position battle, which is almost going to guarantee you with points every single possession.
I would say, as great as this defense looks, Abington's offense is having some trouble. They've really, I mean, the snap was almost 20 feet above the quarterback's head on that last one. These penalties, before the ball's even snapped, they really need to make some adjustments because it is killing them and putting them out of this game. We have the Colonials on the 30 here.
I mean, hey, we could stand out there on defense, and we would have forced 2 false starts and had a fumble that
I
caused
think
a loss
so.
of 15.
And so, you know what? The Ghosts made some adjustments on defense. They knew that the play there was going to Drez. That will put the Colonials back 5 yards for, will now be 2nd and 15. So if you're Abington's defense, that's the type of play you want. The Colonials on first down on the past 2 drives were able to get pickups of at least 5 yards. So definitely good to try to get the Colonials working back. Now see if the Colonials can kind of get a little creative here and change up their gameplay a little bit if Abington's starting to know what they're doing.
Well, making the play there for the Ghost was William Everett, D-tackle, 6'4", 290. So might
Big
need to start
boy.
double-teaming him at this point.
And the Colonials will gain back everything they lost, and we'll now have a 3rd and 10 for the Colonials on the 30-yard line.
See, another thing going off the field position battle is when you're near this deep to Abington's end zone, this position on the field, you can go for it 4th down. This is 4-down territory.
Oh, for sure.
Similar to the second scoring drive, when they were at the 50-yard line, they were able to go for it. Now
Here's
Abington
a
has
pass by McLaughlin over to Pearson. Just threw it a little bit in front of him there. Now put the Colonials on 4th down. We'll see what they do here. Obviously, I think they're probably going to.
I would expect them to go for this. It is 9 yards, but
McLaughlin going over to Coach Chang, talking what the play call might be here.
see no signs of Troy coming on the field.
I say they love doing the squib kick. Maybe if you squibbed it from here, put it on like the 5-yard line, that'd be really hard for the Ghosts. But I think they want the points. And again, you're not really going to be losing too much starting field as Abington started around this area of the field in their past 2 drives. And it's a pass by McLaughlin to Dresden, and a fantastic catch by Dresden that puts them into the red zone again as they're on the 16-yard line. That was a pickup of about a pickup of about 17 yards there for the Colonials. And that was a catch by Dresden. We don't really see that too much. He was a wide out there.
That's only Dresden's 6th catch this year. He had 90 yards coming into the game, so it looks like that catch brought him over 100 receiving yards on the season. I know Drez is the kind of guy that always likes to check out his stats. I know the other day in a coaching class, he was admiring the 1,000 and how it fit on max preps.
Yep, great pass play there by McLaughlin. He saw Dresden had a little bit of separation, as obviously they didn't think the guard of running back, and he was able to get a nice pickup there for the first down.
It's a great play calling there by Chang, too.
And another keep by McLaughlin as he's working along the outside. Look at him, folks, as he's going. He's working to the 10. Great little keep there by McLaughlin.
He had Christopher Pierce there behind him. Looked like instead of pitching him, he decided to use him as a lead blocker, which was a good decision, creating a positive gain for the Colonials.
Colonials working on about the 10-yard line now. So it is 2nd and 3 here. I could see a pitch play. Probably next play to Pacello. We'll see what they do here.
Pitch play, or are you going to run the option?
I don't know. I mean, you have so many different choices here. It's,
So I'm
it's a
curious
whole bag
about
of
what that play call is, where they constantly bring the end around, but they don't actually run the play. I feel like we see that about 5 times a game.
There's a snap, and we'll see here. I think it might be a false start by the Colonials. We'll see here what the signal is by the refs. Yep, false start on the offense. So I'll send back another 5 yards, put him on the 15-yard line, and make it 2nd and 8 here for the Colonials.
Not much damage there to Colonials. I mean, you're still very close to a field goal range.
I believe that is their first penalty of the game, so definitely they're leading in the penalty comparison.
And they had the penalty on the one punt too.
We see here. Oh yes, I forgot about that one. And McLaughlin there talking to Chang for a little bit longer than typically there along the sideline. I think we might see something special here. McLaughlin takes the snap. And a pitch play to Pacello. I called it. Let's see. And he'll go in for the touchdown. His second of the game. The Colonials now have a 3 TD lead here on the Ghosts. I mean, wow. Wow. Pacello, it seems like they have no answer for. Dresden, they have a slight answer for. I mean, Pacello's getting out there to those flats, and, I mean, there's no one even near him.
Yeah, Jason, I don't know what to tell you here. And I feel like if I had an answer to this, Abington's defensive coordinator would for sure have an answer to this. And it looks like there really is no way to contain this Pacello here.
It's funny. The first half of the year, Pacello wasn't as heavy in this Colonials offense. But then towards the second half, he's just exploded. I believe that was probably his 10th touchdown on the year for Pacello. And he's having himself, obviously his best year in high school. Dresden having his best year in high school. I mean, and when you have the seniors putting out numbers like this, and again, the Pierces both healthy now, it is a coaching nightmare to try to have to figure out how you want to stop that.
Pacello, he had 10 touchdowns coming into today. 2 more today. It's brought him up to 12 on the season.
Wow.
Although he's still not close to Dresden's 17.
I didn't know the Colonials had that many touchdowns to begin with. That is, wow.
Coming in today, they've scored 352 points on the season.
Again, that sounds like an NFL stat right there. I mean, that is impressive. And I think another thing we have to highlight, obviously, is you got to give credit when it's due. The offensive line for the Colonials this year has been bar none. I mean, they have been fantastic giving these players such gaping holes to be able to just burst through.
But also, I feel like the speed was clear there. I mean, there wasn't much blocking here once Pacello turned that corner. It was all over. Another interesting note here is how Abington has allowed only 19 points per game this year. And right there, they gave up 21 points in the first quarter alone.
Yep, so they're definitely not having the start that they wanted. And that the first is expired, so now we're going into the second. We'll see if the running clock rule will apply here at Abington. And another squib kick there. I think you're right. I think that player number 9 of Abington has been a little bit troublesome for teams to stop there, as that's the third squib kick they've done to him. And he was able to pick up maybe about 2 yards there on that kick. And that will put them down at about the 26. Let's see here. Up there moving the ball a little bit on me here. About the 26 for the Ghosts. Here we have another give to 7 of Abington. He's getting some separation there. So he's able to almost pick up a first down with the pickup of about 9 there for the Ghosts. Ghosts trying to establish their running game. I believe that's what the predominant part of their offense is built on. So definitely their team wants to see them establish that. Again, this is, I would say, almost desperation time here, Jack. If you don't put up any points on this drive, you're really working in an uphill battle that will be almost impossible. And the quarterback unable to be brought down there by Pierces. He's now working to about midfield. Going down the sideline, the Colonials need to get him out. And a fantastic run by, I'm sorry, what was number 2's name?
Tamir
Berthew, as again, he's just showing off his speed there. Pierce, I thought, had him. He keeps his feet moving, and he was able to work down the sideline. He's just so quick and so hard to bring down. And great pickup there by the Ghosts, as they're now on the Colonial side of the field for once. And now we'll see if they're able to capitalize. Again, like I was saying, they really need some sort of points here to try to get this game back on their side.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Another interesting thing I found about Berthew is that he runs a sub 4.5 40-yard dash. So once he gets in open space, he'll for sure be an issue for the Colonials.
Again, like an NFL stat by a high school player, so he'll only get better. And there's a give to the Ghosts. That'll be a pickup of up, and still a little bit of movement there. That'll be a pickup of about 4 there for the Ghosts, and it'll be 2nd and 6 on the 36-yard line.
I'll tell you this much. Another interesting thing that the Colonials found out before coming in this game was I couldn't exactly tell you who wrote the article, but the predicted final score had the Abington Ghosts beating the Colonials 38-21. They had them favored by 17 points. I
mean, I'm sure the Colonials definitely are mad about that one, and obviously, I mean, they're discrediting their offenses. they already have scored 21 in this game, so I definitely think they'll break that one. And Abington really needs to do a lot of scoring. So we have a run there. He's able to get to the about the 28 there, the Colonials, and another run there. I'm sorry. One more time, Jack. What's number 2's name?
Berthew.
By Berthew, is he's really starting to establish himself on this drive and show why the Colonials thought that he'd be such a headache heading into this one. And, if they want to score that 38, Jack, they're going to need a lot of points, a lot of consecutive points here.
That's facts. Clock about to reach 10 minutes left in the second quarter.
And now we have the Ghost moving back. I saw the ref signal with the top of his head, so I believe that's too many men on the field. So again, Abington gets a very positive play there, and what do we see? Another miscommunication that's going to end up shooting them in the foot. We see the coach is talking to Berthew now along the sideline. Man, that one is a killer on a drive where they finally were starting to get momentum. We'll see if the Colonials can capitalize on that here on second down. Second down, 21 for Abington. My. That's a pretty hard, again, another really hard conversion that you're going to have to try to make there.
I mean, what have we seen so far? 1st and 20, 2nd and 17, 4th and 28.
There's a pickup of about 3 for Abington as they're past midfield, but again, it doesn't matter when you're on 2nd and 18, 2nd and 7, or I'm sorry, 3rd and 17.
They had their offense rolling for a little bit, and they just need to start picking up that momentum again, letting Berthew do his thing in open field.
I think for the Colonials here, if you're able to stop the Ghost, which is a very good chance here considering how far back the Ghosts are working from, that's a great statement of your defense because Abington was finally starting to pick up some steam and work down in the Colonial side of the field, and Colonial was able to keep them from scoring. So even though Abington's doing what they want to do, you're not giving up any points. Definitely the Colonials would like to be able to build off of that. We have another keep by Berthew. Sees how it's working. And he fumbles the ball. And I think the Colonials will pick that one up.
I think so, too. I think that just reached outside of Berthew's arms.
We'll see here what the signal is by the refs.
Looks like Abington's defense is coming out on the field, too.
And Berthew looks a little shaken up there.
And they do say Abington recovered it.
Yeah, I mean, again, Abington, really scary stuff here for the home crowd trying to watch their team as they are struggling. I mean, between the penalties and the turnovers, they're starting to get their heads out of this one a little bit. I think they're starting to play down themselves. That one sails. That's a pretty nice kick. That will roll down. We'll see here. A fantastic kick.
They're inside the 5-yard line.
Almost
wow.
A 45-yard punt there by Abington. Play the Colonials deep in their own zone here. Fantastic punt there by Abington. So we'll see if the Colonials can do a really long drive here. As a lot of their drives, they've been gifted with being almost at midfield. This will be an almost 95-yard drive to get into the end zone.
I think as long as we've been watching the same game here, I don't expect this to be any sort of issue.
Exactly. I think it's neat how their field goal post is white. Something I just noticed there. I didn't even realize.
Well, I feel like I remember seeing this in college. I believe it was BYU with the white goal post.
Penn State does as well.
Yeah, they had the whole student section behind it, and they were all wearing white on the one side.
That's distracting if you're a kicker, that's for sure.
Similar to baseball, you have to have the batter's eye.
There's a nice little handoff to Dresden. Pickup of maybe 2 or 3 there.
Colonials for sure just got to get a first down here and allow the clock to keep moving. Give Troy some room if they need to punt.
Exactly. We have Duran coming into the game.
I was actually looking around Max Preps earlier today. I found out Duran, as a matter of fact, is 9th in the SOL in sacks.
Wow. So he's having himself a great year as a junior, and obviously he'll be a team leader as a senior. We have a give here as Colonials are working. I don't know if they'll be able to stop. He's at the 50, still going. That's Dresden, right?
Dresden for the carry.
Wow, and that will take it to the house, folks. Who are you going to call? Brian Dresden with a almost 85-yard rush there for the Colonials, maybe even 90-yard rush.
I think it was more than 90 yards. I think that was a 93-yard rush there by Dresden.
That is amazing, folks. coming off, his game where he was able to get his 1,000th yard, having almost a 100-yard run there. If you're Abington, folks, I think your stomach just kind of dropped. That is demoralizing to put the Colonials that deep in their own zone and still give up a monster rush there by Dresden, and it was fantastic. You see along the sides, he had almost 2 people trying to tackle him, but he just kept churning those legs, and they were unable to bring him down.
Looked like the Abington defender tried to get him around the shoulder, but I think he underestimated the speed of Dresden.
Fantastic stuff here by the Colonials. I mean,
we were just talking about trying to get a first down, run some clock so they couldn't punt. Dres was more focused on putting one in the end zone.
Wow. Jack, at the beginning of the game you said that the second team might not come in here for the Colonials. I think they might. I mean, this is...
Hate to see it jinx us out here.
The Colonials, knock on wood, the Colonials are just... they're putting on a clinic here.
And that one didn't even look like it was the option. That would look like just a straight handoff to Dresden. He's
Troy,
got 2 scores. Pacello's got 2 scores.
All your big dogs are scoring, and Troy is now 4 for 4 on extra points. Wow. I mean, I don't like using the word perfection, Jack. I really don't. But currently, we're seeing it.
I couldn't think of the fact that we played I don't think we could have played much better. I mean, almost forced a turnover on the one play. I think we only got to 4th down once.
I mean, just impressive stuff here.
I mean, we see it doing in the air with Larry's completion to Dresden for a touchdown.
And the Colonials haven't shown a single chink in their armor here. I mean, they're playing almost perfect ball out here. I think they maybe have 2 penalties in the entire game. No fumbles. I mean, this is clean football.
Looks like the Colonial student section did not show out in great numbers compared to some of the other away games, shockingly enough. But even they're in it, the band's in it. It's starting to get an atmosphere like a home game with everyone cheering here.
Still nice to see they have at least 2 rows filled there. Obviously, as it was a red out. I thought that was a little controversial given that Abington was maroon, but, it's fine. We have a fumble there that he's able to pick up off another squib kick by Choi. And that's a pickup of maybe 6 as he's swallowed up immediately by that Colonial kickoff team there.
So we got a 6 ABC action news down there on the sideline with Abington. Along with another Abington player doing push-ups on the sideline.
Yeah, so I believe, obviously, when they're showing that Friday night show about all the different highlights, it's going to be all Colonials here. Maybe they should switch sidelines.
If I stand corrected, that was not the first time the 6 ABC covered us. I believe they covered our game against Norristown.
Yes, they did. Yep, that one game of the week. Obviously, with so many people in Colonial voting for that one, the big game of the week. And, this is a special squad here, folks. We're really witnessing something fantastic. We have a deep pass downfield. And I think we're going to get a hold there on 41. That's Pacello, right?
Yes, I feel like that's going to be an interference call, too. It's going to give them all the yards, not just a 5-yard penalty from
It's funny, folks. I had a little bit of trouble realizing that was Pacello because it's, on defense he's so good as well as offense. And typically you're used to calling out him running down the sideline. But there I think he just got a little too tangled up there with the Abington receiver. And costly penalty for the Colonials that will,
I think it's going to go off what we said earlier here, and this team's only going to go as far as their secondary is.
Yeah. And that's really what the challenge is going to be, moving on past this game for the Colonials if they do win, is that, if they pass a team that's more pass-heavy, that could really show some of the problems the Colonials have had this season. But as long as they face teams like Abington, I think that, they'll be pretty good. So Abington was ranked 6th, correct? And Colonials were ranked 11th. So
that's correct.
Again, I think the seeding a little bit questionable. Obviously, as we see, this looks like it's a 1 seed versus a 20 seed.
Well, there seems to be an issue out there with spotting the ball.
Yeah, with the interference, I thought the Colonials would be having to work.
Yeah, I am curious too. Like say, there's a miscommunication there. But anyway, I know how the scoring works. It's you get credits for what class the team is you beat, so you get more points for beating a 6A team, then a 5A team, and then a 4A team, and on and on. And you also get an additional 10 points for every team that team's beaten. So the Colonials were at the 9 seed for 2 straight weeks, and even though they beat Hatboro didn't have too many wins, so they dropped 2 spots down to 11 spot.
Makes sense. And we had another run play there that was ineffective for Abington. Has picked up a yard. We have 2nd and 9 here on the 38 for Abington.
Although I feel like this 11 seed was not a huge issue though, because the if we were the 9 seed, we'd be playing against CB South. We know them as a perennial powerhouse.
Fantastic squad. My funny fact said my cousin actually goes to CB South, and that culture over there, they live and breathe that team out there at Central Buck South, and they have a very impressive squad. So I'll take it. I will gladly take us playing the Ghost over CB South. And we have another pickup there for Abington that puts them at the 41. It'll be 3rd and 6 now.
The 1 seed there is Downtown West, and the 2 seed is Central Bucks West. Nice little tidbit of information on CB West and Coach Chang. So Coach Chang attended North Penn High School, played football there. They were a perennial powerhouse there. They were ranked number 2 in the state. And believe it or not, ESPN actually did a documentary on their team, which he showed us in coaching class.
Pretty interesting. There's a pass out to the side that will give the Ghost a first down. That's number 26, and we're going to get a late flag there as he got pushed out of bounds by a Colonial player there. And for the Colonials, you don't want to give up a penalty like that.
That catch there was by Ahmad Stone, and it looks like the penalty there is going to be on number 11, Josh Lynch. Again, yeah, I feel like with everything going well with you, that's the last thing you need to do.
You give up a big play there. You want to kind of just move on from it, and now it's just insult to injury there, giving Abington some really nice chunks of yardage here for doing nothing, just simply getting hit, and that will put the ball past midfield as the refs are, wow, look at that spot move. Oh, man, look at that. Yep, that's going to put Abington in a fantastic spot here on the 32-yard line.
It's not what you like to see at all. You don't want to give them any chance of getting back into this game. I feel like you have all the momentum right now. And a stupid penalty like that can really be trouble.
There's a give up the middle, and he's stuffed by the Colonial defense, picked up maybe a yard.
It's Andrick Wesh again on the carry.
Yeah, so again, like I was trying to stress, penalties on both sides of the ball, are so costly, and if you end up giving up a touchdown this drive, it could most likely be a result of that penalty. So you really just want to keep your head in this game, and nothing costly there. Again, that would be work against yourself and giving them free yardage. See here at the 5:35 mark here of this first quarter, and he got rushed there by Duran. And he just tries to throw that one away to avoid taking the sack.
I was actually having a conversation with Duran last week after the Hatboro Horsham game. And I believe it was on the opening drive there for Hatboro, one of the first plays. Their quarterback was only 120 pounds. And he threw the ball, he released it. Duran took a solid 3 steps and knocked the kid over. He avoided a roughing the passer call, but I was talking to him after the game, and he knew he roughed it, and he got away with one there. So he was a lot more careful out there on that one to not hit him too hard.
Yeah, that's sometimes what happens when you have some of these high school refs. They don't see everything. You get away with a little something there. And definitely like to see it when it's for your team, but when it's against your team, it definitely, could lead to some frustration. And we have another keep here by Abington, and that will put him at the 26-yard line.
Brought down there by Pacello. Looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Makes sense. Punting. You got a fantastic punt last time, but you only can rely on that so much when you're down by 28. You need points here.
I feel like you'd be closer to field goal range here at this point.
Yeah,
it's only a 43-yarder, which I feel like would be a lot for a high school kicker, but
I guess depends a lot on the quality of kicker here that Abington has. I don't really know too much about their kicker, so
luckily for us, we haven't had to see much of it today.
Here's a snap here as he's looking down the side. He's able to get that one off.
Down there.
And we'll see if that's enough to get them the first down. It's going to be right there. I think it will get them the first down. And we see again that connection with 26 is it seems the Colonials secondary is having a little bit of trouble spotting him out there in the flats with those passing plays, those short little screens that have seemed to be pretty successful here for the Ghosts.
It's a nice route there by Ahmad Stone. There was just no one near him. I don't know if that was a great route or just a blown coverage, which I wouldn't be surprised by either.
I'll be interested to see if they pass twice in a row here. Because it seems
action.
To be working, and he gets a throw off that's completed. That will get them within the 10 here. Colonial secondary showing off some of their weaknesses here on this drive is, I believe that's the 5th completion on this drive here by the Ghosts.
It was brought down there by Christopher Pierce. Pierce is filling in for Taramino. Davis just barely gets off the field there at the top of the screen.
And a pickup of maybe 1 here for the Ghosts as they're trying to just pick up that first down on the 8. And Davis now coming back onto the field as quickly as he got off. We have Bell coming off.
So you did get the first down there on that, setting up 1st and goal for the Ghosts.
Nice little drive here for the Ghosts again, going towards the end of the second half. You love scoring at the end of the second half. Plus, they receive the ball after the half. You have a little bit of momentum to work with. They really could use some points here, and that almost is caught. Get a little closer as 13's raising his arms looking for the call there.
Went right through the arms there of Caleb Baker. 6'3", 200 pounds. That's a pretty big target to hit out there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't just float one up.
It's almost a basketball play there. I mean, so if you are the Ghosts, there is hope. If you're able to score here, stop the Colonials quickly, get the ball within 2 minutes, maybe score before halftime and get the ball after the half, you're right back in this game. As far down as you are, there is a possibility here for the Ghosts they would be able to capitalize off of. But obviously, they're going to need some almost perfection there. And what are you saying there, Jack?
I believe best case scenario, they could score here. Maybe just Colonials run out the clock, and then they score at the beginning of halftime. I really don't see them going up or going down 21-28 right there at the beginning of the third quarter. They got to focus on scoring here first.
For sure. Almost credit them with the touchdown before they got it. Again, this Colonial defensive front is fantastic. Obviously one of the best features of their defense. Having so many great linemen that play both ways on both defense and offense. And so we got 3rd and 4 here on the 4-yard line for the Ghosts.
Say this much: who has never lost hope in this game to this point is these Abington cheerleaders.
I mean, they've been in it the whole game. Nothing but respect. There's a keep. And he floats that one up in the back of the end zone. He's wide open for a touchdown for the Ghosts. So the Ghosts score. That gives them something here, pulse for sure. And we hear, wow, the box up here is rumbling here with this band as they are very excited about that score there for the Ghosts.
That's Mark Massino on the reception there. He's a fullback.
Don't see that too much anymore.
I don't see many players officially listed as a fullback.
Have the extra point here for the Ghosts. That one's right down the middle, so it'll be 28-7 here for the Ghosts.
It's no harm yet. I mean, I feel like if you're the Colonials, you maybe just try to get a couple points here, get the momentum going back in halftime.
I like here. Some people would say play conservative, chew clock. Colonials going aggressive here. Just putting this game away.
I mean, I might see, maybe a screen pass a little bit, maybe just an outside carry or the famous veer.
Yes, obviously, yeah, fear the veer. I could see maybe going back to that play that scored with Dresden, just a simple little handoff. See what he could do with it as he was able to just explode and get to that sideline on that one. And, I'm interested to see what Coach Chang does here. There's a lot of different approaches you could take here. And
now, I don't know the playbook that well, and I don't know too much about it, but I believe that play by Dresden could have been that famous veer.
I think it was a veer formation if memory serves me. Here we have the kickoff here for Abington. Nice little kick of about 23 yards and bobbled a little bit there.
Fielded there by Kern.
And he's able to there's a flag. I think we might have a block in the back by Abington. We'll see here. Wait a second, the refs here. We have a face mask here on Abington.
These penalties are just continuing to hurt them.
Oh, yeah, they're piling up. I believe that's almost, would you say, 45 yards and penalties for the Ghosts so far in this half? 35? I mean,
I think it might be more than that.
they got a lot of them, and it's not little penalties. They've had a couple 15s in there, and
You got to consider the fact that they're on both sides of the ball, too.
exactly. I mean, neither side's really able to find the rhythm here and keep a clean drive.
It's a field position battle, it's like we just kept saying.
Working on the 45 here with, 2 and some change. It's a great spot for the Colonials to be in to try to end this half. With an exclamation mark here. And a fumble by Dresden. And I think that's recovered by the Ghosts as Lyman was immediately there. We'll see what they signal. The Ghosts are signaling that they have it. And that will be, folks. And again, not what you want to see there by the Colonials. I believe that was a handoff to Dres, correct?
That is correct.
And I think that was a cold ball there. It's a little cold out tonight. Came in a little hard, and I think him and McLaughlin didn't quite read each other there on that give there. And now the Ghosts are working already in Colonial territory here with 2 minutes left.
I just want to apologize for saying that they would not score at the end of the second half, too. And I feel like I misspoke on that one, but
I don't know. I feel like I'm a little bit of an oracle tonight. A lot of my calls so far have been happening, unfortunately. Maybe I should start saying a little more less biased things and a little more bias for the Colonials. There's another handoff for the Ghosts that will get them a pickup of about 4 there. And
I'll tell you this much. During the fumble, I actually considered getting under this desk. It sounded like an earthquake was going off in here.
I mean, this is a hype student section for sure. And you get the crowd back on your side. And you can't really ask for much more if you're the Ghosts. You have the cheerleaders. You have the crowd. You're making a really big play there. If you're down by 2 touchdowns, you receive the ball after halftime, you're in it. There's another run play by the Ghosts. And another little pickup there. If you're the Ghosts, you're at the 120 mark here. I don't like running. I want you to see they've had a great passing game so far. They've had, I believe, 7 completions in this half alone.
Looks like they're going to call their first timeout.
Call their first timeout.
I was just about to say, neither team has called a timeout yet to this point in the game, which is something I feel like is pretty uncommon in high school football. A lot of times, you're not 100% sure with what you're doing 24/7.
Yeah, and
Water Girl heads out there with her blanket on.
Yeah, I mean, it's cold. It makes sense. And again, I think that Abington here, they're putting themselves in a great spot. I think definitely see them this next down or 2, looking on a pass play. Colonial's been having a lot of trouble trying to defend it. And again, if the Ghosts score, it's huge for them. And I would see. I mean, that's been the highlight reel so far of their. I see. Sorry, folks. Abington. That has really been the strong point or the focal point here of their team so far in this half. They've had a lot of different miscues and struggles, but their passing game has been fine. Their passing game has been very well, and obviously, if they're able to keep it going here.
It'd definitely be nice to see the Colonials contain the pass. I feel like that's just going to be a second half adjustment.
Oh, for sure. That is the thing they will need to stress the most. I mean, they've been playing such a great first half, but that has been a struggle for sure, has been trying to stop the pass.
See, I've never came up to ask what's it like in the locker room there for the Colonials players.
And we'll have any coaching on the defense there. Costly penalty. I believe that's Davis there jumping over the line. And again, costly, folks.
I feel like halftime hasn't been anything crazy for the Colonials, but a thing that they talk about in the NFL is people tend to believe that halftime speeches are time to light a fire into the team, but really it's just more about second half adjustments.
Oh, for sure.
Like an adjustment the Colonials have to make is containing the pass. They haven't done it at this point in the year.
And now we see here is, they're going with the pass play. He will have a man open down towards the end zone, and he will catch it. And that'll be a touchdown for the Ghosts with a minute left here in the half. I think I was Juju, Jack. I think I was bad Juju. I should have never said anything about scoring before the half. I hate to say it, Jack, because Colonials have played a fantastic half. I hate to say it, but momentum right now is on Abington's side.
I'd like to say momentum's on the side, but I definitely would not be concerned here for the Colonials.
I think the Colonials get out of this half clean. I like going conservative, running the clock out, taking a breather, and again, they need to talk to these corners and get them on the same page.
I said that when there's 2 minutes left. You didn't agree with me, but what gave you the change of heart?
Yeah, I mean, folks, this is not what you want to see here from this defensive unit, as he was able to get separation and again towards the back of the end zone on the touchdown we saw on the drive prior. There was a guy open right there in the back, and he's able to just pick that one out of the air and get a nice easy touchdown. Now Abington's only down by 2 touchdowns, and they received the ball after halftime.
Well, I mean, I consider myself pretty good at math, but when I was just looking at that formation, I noticed how they had trips to the left. There's only 2 Colonials out there on the left side to guard them. So I felt like right there I knew we were in trouble.
And again, so the kick's good. Their extra points are 2 for 2. I'm not sure if you can hear this, folks. It's getting loud. It's getting real loud. And
Yeah, you
this
start
Abington
getting under
crowd.
the table.
Yeah, I mean, so far here, Colonials have played a great half. Abington's they're starting to cleanse their sins a little bit, if you will. And definitely they're making up for it within this, a halfway mark of the second quarter really has been capitalized by them, and they've really been making a lot of excellent plays here. You know what? I said this a couple games ago being funny. If you do it onside here, I would consider it. I would consider if you're the coach of Abington. Maybe. I don't think they'll do it, but if you're able to recover that, now you're talking trouble.
Well, see, unlike the NFL, they can actually start out 5 yards back and run up and have the momentum when the kicker kicks the ball.
We'll see
For the
here.
NFL, you have to wait until the kicker kicks it to start moving, making the impossible virtually impossible.
Return here by Pierce as he goes up the middle. That's a pickup of about 15 there for Pierce.
Starting at the 45, give you a change here of what you want to do.
I think
You have 3 timeouts in your pocket.
that's true. That's true. I don't want to see the. I mean, if you're gonna go if you're gonna go aggressive here, do it clean. No more fumbles. No costly penalties. Do what you did in the first half essentially. Get back to that just smash mouth football that was doing so well, and with the 3 timeouts, it's great. I definitely say you try to do something like that. We see it's a keep here by McLaughlin, and he gives it to
the option.
Pierce, and he smothered up there. I think it's a loss of 1 for the Colonials.
Well, I feel like with the Colonials offense, I feel like the playing it conservative and playing it aggressive, there's a big middle ground that you always see. It's mostly runs. Last week against Happer Horsham, believe it or not, the Colonials did not pass the ball once.
Yeah. And we're now at the 47 mark. Abington calls a timeout. 2nd and 9 for the Colonials. And, again, I just like to get out of the half. Void of any more costly turnovers. And just, I think that really the Colonial coaching staff is going to be talking to their corners. And I think, they're going to try to make some adjustments on 84, who had that first touchdown. And then forget who had that second touchdown, but he got open a couple times. I believe he has 3 catches on the night. So definitely on whoever's assigned on who, they're going to try to work on what they saw out there and go over different formations they might want to do. Definitely seeing the corners dropping back a little bit more and playing the pass because, again, it's been almost perfect for the Ghosts so far in this game. And, the passing game, it looks almost pro level with that quarterback again. Last year in the 12-0 loss, he had a great passing night. And here's Dresden working past the 50, working down the sideline, 30, 20, 10, and now he's out at about the 14-yard line. So, you know what? Fantastic. Jack, yeah, aggressive here. Score that touchdown.
It's a lot easier to say once you're there at Abington's 14-yard line.
Yep, oh yeah. When you're Dresden and you're just churning out yards here, he's at 130 on the night? Maybe even 150?
I think he, right there, that was roughly a 35-yard. He had a 95-yard run, too. So just on those 2 plays, he was at 130.
There's a pitch to Pierce.
End around. He gets swallowed up near the line.
That'll be a pickup of about 3 as we're now within almost 30 here before the half expires. We have another timeout by the Colonials. I mean, this is great. This is a great spot to be if you're the Colonials. You have plenty of time. You do have another timeout to use. Obviously, you could spike if you absolutely have to. The running game's definitely picking up their pace a little bit on this drive compared to last drive. Obviously, that ended with the turnover. And, they gave up 2 touchdowns to the Ghosts that really could have maybe started to spin this game towards Abington. And their offense, they score here, it's essentially as if the touchdown off the turnover didn't happen. And you still have a 3 TD lead going into the half.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this much. I mean, this is just a great performance by both teams after this first half. I mean, this is something incredible to see with high school students doing extracurriculars, doing stuff in the classroom.
I mean, they're making adjustments that you'd see almost at a pro level. And again, kudos to both players on both sides for being able to kind of recognize what they need to work on and obviously listening to their coaches, different critiques and stuff like that. And I think the second half we're going to see a little bit tighter and a little less scoring here with that, or we're going to see a lot of scoring by both squads. But both are definitely starting to find their footing here, and they're playing their games that they both like to play.
Say this much, a quarterback, too, for Abington, Tamir Berthew. I mean, he's been putting on a show, looking like a college-level quarterback.
Here's the keep, and pitch over to Dresden. Dresden 10-5, and he's going to get in for the touchdown, folks. That's his 3rd touchdown, correct, Jack?
That is
3rd
correct.
touchdown for Dresden. Maybe 170 yards, 160 on the night for Dres. And again, we might see him break 2 here. The typical thing that he did the first 5 weeks. I think almost every game he was having almost 2. And so the Colonials score a key touchdown there. They will now give him, again, that 3-touchdown lead going into the half. If you're Abington, you really didn't want to see that. You wanted to see trying to stop the Colonials, gain a little bit of confidence on the defensive side of things. And Colonials just took the ball right down the field. Again, they start off great position at the 45. We'll see Choi with the kick right through the middle. 5 for 5 on the night. And it's 35-14 Colonials with 26 here.
Well, I'm taking a big sigh of relief after that one. I definitely feel like now, we were just talking about momentum. I feel like now momentum's no longer a problem for us.
For sure.
Got that heading into the locker room.
We see both special team squads here, huddled up, talking about what they're going to do here.
Definitely expect that usual squib kick. Really don't let a big return. Don't let them get any momentum. Maybe just a couple run plays by Abington. Nothing crazy.
I could see him almost nailing on it here if you're Abington again, because you don't want to then set up a play where there's a possibility of a fumble, because then any confidence you have in your running game is almost out the window. You don't want to see a pass because that could lead to interception possibility, like with Pierce that we saw at Wissahickon all those many weeks ago, and he had a pick 6. And I believe that was Christian who had the pick 6
Pierce last week at Happer Horsham, along with Phil Taramina, 2 pick 6s.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I started the Colonials defense in fantasy. I was very happy about it.
For sure. And there's another squib by Choi. So Choi, he's been fantastic this year with putting that ball up in the air and making it, go back really deep. But his squibs have been great too, as they are just so hard to try to get anything off of. And they definitely probably working at that at practice all week and doing a great job here.
I feel like with all the seniors, Choi's definitely going to be one that you're going to miss the most.
It's a specialty player that is so hard to find.
This year alone, he's 43 for 47 on extra point attempts. Now, that is something incredible.
That is just, again, it's almost a pro-like number out of a high school kicker. You're blessed when you get a good high school kicker. Sometimes there's years where you're going for 2 almost every time because you just don't trust the kid you got there setting it through the uprights. And, here's another handoff for the Ghosts. I think they might have listened to us. That'll put him at about the 43 here. They'll give him about 10, maybe the first down. And see if they call a timeout. 13 here on the clock. But again, as I was saying before, with that kicker, when you have a good kicker, it's great. You then have the possibility of being able to get field goals and being able to have those extra points where you don't need to go for 2 and get creative when you're trying to use half of your plays in your playbook to get in the end zone just so that way you're not losing points on a drive. And so, you take it for granted sometimes. And the Colonials have been very fortunate to have him kick in this year. And we have the refs there signaling the Abington timeout, as I believe that is their last of the half.
So now I know NFL PATs are backed up 13 yards further than high school, and you got NFL players trying to block it. But Choi's PAT percentage would actually be better than 7 different NFL teams from last season.
Wow.
His percentage of 91.4% beats 9 different NFL teams. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the deal. People don't talk about this. Kicking a ball 13 yards and you have a defender running at you is not easy. It's not.
People like to go out there, try it on a field goal, like just go to a football field, have their friend hold it and kick it and say, wow, I just made a 35, 40-yard kick. Well, let me rush at you and see if you're still going to make it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hard. Kicking that ball is hard. On a night like tonight, it's like kicking a rock. I would say it's almost like kicking a bowling ball. I mean, that ball gets really cold in nights like tonight, and to be able to just do it the way he does it, and with such ease. I remember a couple years ago, it was sometimes you'd see kicks from other teams, and you wince because you just see a ball sail. But Choi sends it down the middle almost every time. We would catch there again by Abington, and I think he might have fumbled
Ball's
there.
Out.
We'll see. I think Abington recovered it. As we have 3 seconds, and that'll set us to halftime.
Clock's at double zeros here.
So 35-14 going into the half. Some scares there, but not really too many. The Colonials definitely are the more frightening ghost of the two in this half. And they played their game. They were able to score a touchdown before the half. It was really, I think, will be crucial. They're definitely going to, again, go over different coverages and things with their corners. And Abington, they're going to have a whole different buffet of different things they're going to need to work on if they're going to want to try to get back in this one.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm for sure impressed with this halftime, with this first half performance. Getting up to the 28-0 lead, that was definitely big. And I was getting a little bit worried there when the Ghosts scored 2 straight touchdowns with under about 3 minutes. I was getting a little bit concerned there, but I definitely feel like that end run by Dresden there to seal off the half, that gave me confidence in this team.
For sure. All right, folks, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with our presentation of the second half. See you shortly. So, folks, welcome to the half. Definitely a tale of different points of this game. We saw it start off with a Colonial 28-0 run. Their offense was unstoppable. Their defense was phenomenal. I mean, it looked like the game was almost going to be a 50-0 blowout. But then we kind of saw Abington started to play a little bit. Jack, maybe you can highlight on what happened.
Abington's quarterback, Tamir Berthew, they exposed weaknesses in the Colonial secondary. They were able to score. Then when the Colonials got the ball back, a fumble allowed Abington to score again. Then what happened there right before the end of the second half?
Then, the Colonials started on the 45. Dresden was able to have a fantastic run of 30 yards, take it in for a touchdown. And the Colonials then were up by 3 touchdowns again. There was a little bit of shaky points to defense. I think that, definitely, as you were saying, maybe they work on that. Who were some of the players that were having some catches for Abington?
I know Ahmed Stone was having some nice plays out there for them. But I definitely think for the second half, the Colonials should focus on the secondary, stopping the long pass plays, and really trying to get more pressure on Berthew.
That, honestly, I'm a big fan of aggression. Not in a literal way, but in a football sense. And I think the Colonials definitely come out swinging. I think defense, you're going to blitz first play, get Abington flustered, 3 and out, get the ball, score, and really start to put the nail in the coffin of this one. So
it's easier said than done, so I guess we'll just have to wait and find out.
That's true. I think we'll definitely see a great second half, though, and we can't wait to call it, folks. The Colonials will now start on the 35.
I feel like the 35 is pretty generous to start out.
Oh, yeah.
No, in the NFL, it's at the 40. It's something we've seen too many kicking out of bounds. Oh, are they moving it?
Yeah, let's see. No, I saw the ref signal. It looks like he signaled a false start on the offense, so I wonder if...
No, I think that's just the...
Or, yeah, I guess the signal for out of bounds.
Yeah. No, it looks like they're just moving it over.
Yep, over to the other side. I feel like that's because the ball went out towards that side. As much as we talk about Abington's passing game, I want to see the Colonials get their passing game in it a little more. And there's Drez as he's going 40, 50, midfield. Oh, and he's still going with 2 defenders trying to take him down. And now he's at about the 46-yard line there, and another huge chunk of yardage here for Drez. He picks up about, would that be like 20, Jack?
I'd say about that.
Great
the way
run
Drez
there.
is running, every time he touches the ball, I just feel a little bit of relief. I know, we're getting some solid yards right here, and there's nothing to worry about.
Maybe scrap that whole passing comment. Just keep running the ball. Takes the clock down, and it seems like the Colonials, again, this whole game, Abington has been able to have an answer for it. We see some signals there by... coach on the sideline.
I believe that there was 2 attempts to this point, if I'm correct. One was an incomplete out to the left to Pierce. The other one was a touchdown pass to Drez. And Drez back again up the middle. Breaks into the secondary.
And there's another huge chunky yardage for another Colonials first down as they're on about the 24-yard line.
Look like they're Michael McGinnis on the Abington Ghost. He looks a little close to a horse collar tackle there.
Yeah.
Coming off the field now. You were right, though, coming in this drive. If your defense isn't doing too well, just get right in the offense.
Exactly.
But yet again, though, I'm going to have to disagree with your comment about the offense was the thing that got him here from week 1. With the starters only giving up 4 points per game.
Well, that's true. I mean, the offense is – I feel like, you know what, you can't really say that one has put them in here in particular because the offense is scoring almost 40 and your defense is only allowing 70. We were doing great on both sides. There's Drez, 20, 10, down at about the 6. Another great run by Drez. This reminds me again of the earlier sort of form of the Colonials we saw when it was just Drez moving down the field. And I mean, he's on fire, folks. I think he broke 200 already tonight. 3 touchdowns. I mean, like you're saying with Colonials defense on fantasy, I hope people started Drez.
I know I'm pretty sure he was under 100 yards in all of the last 3 games, which really we don't see very much. I mean, him in the beginning of the season, he was on a whole different level, and it's nice to see him get back to that level today.
Especially in the playoffs, because that's when you're going to need it the most.
I think it was the extra sleep he got last night.
Possibly. I know. I mean, Thriller was on a lot yesterday, so got to hear a lot of his boy MJ. And there's
true.
Pierce to the outside, and he will get in for the touchdown. And the Colonials able to expand their lead. So Abington scores. You get back on your heels a little bit. And the Colonials pound it right back in with a beautiful drive there. Capped off with several Dresden rushes of over 10 yards. That he sets him up at a nice spot there. And they're able to get the handoff to Pearson, his first game back. Christopher Pierce, that is. And again, so awesome to see him reestablishing himself. So now you have Pacello with a pair of touchdowns. You have 3 touchdowns for Dresden and then a touchdown for Pierce. So, no, nobody's really taking too many touchdowns from the other one. Pretty evenly distributed. There's Choi as the Abington player. Actually was pretty close to possibly blocking that one. And Colonials now obviously have that 3 possession lead there that is great at the 5:28 mark here at the third. You know, I mean, you only have so much time. And regardless of the pace that Abington scores, if the Colonials keep scoring, you know, you're just going to have a game that doesn't really move much with obviously the differential of 21.
So I feel like this is something that you see in high school a lot. You like to see, the flashy guys that score the touchdowns. But I feel like there's not enough credit being given to that line and the coaching staff.
Oh, yeah.
They're giving different looks, different people the ball, and it's really paying out in big dividends right now.
For sure. I'm sure we'll see another squib here.
I mean, I feel like we've seen 4 different rushers at this point break off for something big. I feel like Larry, we constantly see him picking up first downs.
I mean, you have Larry, you have Pacello, you have both Pierces, Dresden. I mean, it's like you can only guard so many people. And that squib had a little bit of air on it there. And
had some heat to it, too.
Yeah, yep. That'll be at about, I would say. Let's see here, folks. Just waiting to see the ref there at about the 34 for the Ghosts. And for the Ghosts here, they need to score, but they need to score quick. The clock is working against you at every point of the game going forward. You really want to try to score quickly here. And their defense needs to step up. I mean, how many drives the Colonials had and then scored? I feel like they've scored on almost the majority of their drives.
I feel like the only one they haven't scored was on the fumble.
Let's see what the Ghosts do here. They go back to the running that's been working pretty effectively. He's able to break off a tackle. 40. Burning him up, and he's brought down by Christopher Pierce at about the 48. So we saw there that Colonial defensive front that usually is so good at smothering those running backs. He was able to get a little separation there and second wind that was able to propel him forward and give him the first down there.
And that was just a great piece of running. He got bottled up at first, and then he broke free.
There's a throw. Ooh, it almost caught there. Again, thankfully that was dropped, but he had I think he had a step or two on the Colonial secondary there, and again, that would have been pretty deadly to already have him on the Colonial side of the ball after only 3 plays.
That was Caleb Baker who made the miraculous catch near the pylon.
Oh, yes. Looks like they might go with the, I think they're going to either have a quarterback keep here or a pass, and then they're going to look for the pass. Along the sideline, that'll be another first down.
Looks like Christopher Pierce slipped up there. I think I jinxed the Colonials there on their footing.
Yeah.
They would play on this grass.
I mean, considering last night, we almost had a tornado in half the state. Mm-hmm. I think the grass might still be a little bit mucky down there.
That's also a really good point you bring up.
I mean, it was just torrential downpour. I mean, I know in Plymouth meeting we got hammered. I'm not too sure about Abington, but...
well, I know some of the nearby school districts had off today. I feel like I remember Wissahickon didn't have school today because of lack of power.
Yeah.
Fake there.
And there's, again, he's able to pick up what I think will be another first down off a run there for about 11.
Great downfield blocking there by Baker and number 10, Mark Macione.
Yeah, so... Unfortunately, again, I mean, the Colonials' offense is really looking good, but their defense is kind of they're showing a little bit uncharacteristic here for the first team, considering that they said they give up an average of almost 7 points. So
4 points for the starters, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm interested if it was with halftime there were some changes in formations due to what they were seeing before, and now it's kind of working against them.
I'm seeing a lot less empty backfield formations for the Ghosts.
Yeah, and they're looking for another pass here and another catch.
A super high completion percentage here for Berthew.
Yeah, that was again a Stone, who's had I think 6 catches now in the day. And so the Colonials secondary, given if they win this one, they're gonna need to do some work. I believe Garnet Valley is a pretty notorious pass heavy team, and having to face a team like that in the playoffs, and you're not talking about games where it's you have a 21-point lead going into it, but you might be working from behind. So they need to make some adjustments for sure.
Pressure gets to him, and he is brought down there in the sack.
Great little sack for a loss by the Colonials. Finally, kind of ease a little bit of this flow that has been going by Abington, and
he was brought down there by Jake Davis, who was first in the SOL in sacks. And second in the whole 6A. Let's say he'll tie himself up for the lead there.
How many sacks is that for?
He has 9.5 coming in the game.
You're an NFL player. You'd take that all day.
That's right. He'd have a payday waiting for him.
Oh, yeah. I'd see him playing some college ball. He's definitely got the size for it, and he rolls out again. He's able to complete that to 84. I believe that's his 4th catch of the game. I'm sorry, it was 80 with the catch.
Yep, that was Gallagher on the reception.
Yeah. Saw the 8, didn't see the other number. Thought it was 84, considering he had a couple of nice catches down this part of the field.
See, I feel like if you're the Colonials, another emphasis should be making sure that clock keeps running, too. Does you feel like this is the point in the game where you start to want to get into a chew clock kind of tempo?
Oh, for sure. I mean, with 3 left in the half, definitely, just have the clock work against them. We have here 1st and 10 on the 14 for the Ghosts, and it's a keep. He goes to the outside. He's got some room here, folks. 10-5. Almost a touchdown there for the Ghosts.
It's just great blocking there by Abington all around. Mark Macione there on the outside block there, number 10, allowing Berthew to seal the corner there for the Ghosts.
Yep, so now on the 2-yard line, the Ghosts have a lot of different things they could use here. It'll be a keep, and he will be in for the touchdown. So it's just been, like we said, just back and forth this half. Is on all the drives so far. The teams have scored, and high-scoring game. If you took the over, you're happy with this one.
Well, with the Colonials coming into this game averaging almost 41 points per game, Abington almost 36, but both defenses have been pretty good. Colonials giving up 13 points a game and Abington 19.
See here at this kick. And through the middle, good.
Brings it back down to a 2-possession game here with only 2:50 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, so again, Colonial offense, they just keep doing their thing. They're in a great spot. I would say, as I was stressing at the end of the half, and this is, I mean, really you could say this for the entirety of the game, but especially now considering that it's starting to get a little bit closer, ball security is huge. Ball security and costly penalties.
I agree with you 100% there, More. I feel like we have been seeing a lot less penalties. I don't think there's been.
Both sides have definitely cleaned up a lot.
I
don't
mean, there
think
was
there's
the kicking out of bounds penalty.
But again, that's not really one. I mean, I don't know if he intentionally did that. That's definitely, if you are to allow a penalty, that's one you want to see.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to make or break your entire season.
Exactly. But definitely, like in that first half, I mean, Abington, with almost 3 consecutive false starts, then the fumble. I mean, they really were just putting themselves out of the game early, and they're able to clean that up a little bit.
I mean, the Colonials, though, have had their fair share of penalties, too, from pass interferences to unnecessary roughnesses.
I believe maybe 2 false starts. And so, I mean, the offense has been pretty clean. There's a slip up there at the ball.
Ooh.
I believe it was East who hit his hands a little hard there, but he's able to recover it and take it to the 32. Nice little punt there by Abington. And, I mean, their offense has been pretty clean, obviously, besides the 1 fumble, then maybe 2, 3 false starts. Then, obviously, the defense had a little more trouble with the penalties.
Solid starting field position here for the Colonials, but compared to everything else that they have this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just probably some of the farthest back they've been. The only other time was that time on the 5 or whatever it was when Drez was able to take it 95 yards anyway, so it didn't matter. So here we'll see here what the Colonials come out with. I mean, I'm really interested to see if Abington's able to make an adjustment to answer to the Colonials' run game. I mean, because the entire game they have not been able to do anything to penetrate it in any way and slow its roll.
I feel like as a Colonials fan right now, you're feeling pretty confident right now. Although your defense looks like it struggles out there, there hasn't been any flaws from the offense to this point besides that 1 fumble.
Yep, and there's Christopher working down the sidelines. He's able to get the first down. So we saw there the pitch play where he faked the handoff to Drez. Took
that
it the
option
outside
there that Abington's been struggling on this whole game. He's also able to stay in bounds, which is also very important to keep the clock moving. They can take their time a little bit before they want to run this next play.
Exactly. There's Christopher in motion.
Really chewing a lot of clock here.
Oh, yeah. Take it right down past 2. I mean,
started this drive with 2:50 on the clock. Now it's at 2 minutes exactly when they ran this next play.
Yeah. I mean, if you take this drive into the 4th, it puts yourself in a great spot. Because then even if you don't score, Abington only has a quarter left to try to, bounce back. And, again, that means you have to consecutively stop the Colonials. So not stop once, not twice, but 3 times. You have to score all those times you get the ball back. You have to play almost perfect from here on out if you're Abington if you want to get even close to taking this one back.
Well, I don't think that's the mindset for the Colonials right now because if I was on that sideline, I'd be for sure thinking about how they cannot stop us, and they will not stop us.
Here we have play to Drez. He takes it to the 50. That'll be another pickup for the Colonials. So we actually, folks, just got a live look in, and it is 21-0. O&J Roberts are down at the half. So I believe if the pace of that one keeps up, it will probably be, with this game with the winner playing Garnet Valley.
I mean, as we're watching here, I'm not saying that, upsets cannot happen, but
Drez is the only pickup of 2 there. Uncharacteristic for him tonight. Continue, Jack.
The 3 seed against a 14 seed. It was going to look like a tough matchup for O&J Roberts. It's like their only third fourth down attempt of the game to this point.
Yeah.
Able to convert on both of them to this point. One going for a touchdown to Drez through the air.
Yeah, 4th and 5.
I don't think they'll run another play here.
Yep, let the clock roll.
I don't think they should run another play. Let Chan go through the whole play sheet and see what he wants to do.
Yep, pick a goodie. My only concern here, Jack, and hear me out, I don't think it's going to happen, but if the Colonials weren't to convert, Abington will get some very generous starting field position for their drive coming out. I'm not sure. Maybe the punting team will come on, the offense just staying out there. Because
got plenty of time to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. So now we are entering the 4th. Colonials up 28-42. It's a 2-touchdown lead here. We got a couple people in the student section, I see. It looks like it filled up a little bit more, so that's obviously nice to see. It's funny, I had a fun week of covering playoffs this week and last week, and actually tomorrow we have a game at Methacton.
For field hockey?
For field hockey. We have the district championship as they're playing Downtown West, I believe, who upset the number 1 seed and beat them 7-1.
Wow.
They're coming in as the favorites into that one, but I mean the Colonial squad has been having a historic year, the best that they've had since 2004, so we'll see if they're able to do, they're able to win that. They're obviously already qualified for the state playoffs. So, I mean, again, we see a fall season highlighted by almost every team making the playoffs. So,
I mean, best of luck to them tomorrow. It really has been a great fall season. Girls soccer, too, have had a nice little run. Volleyball also.
I mean, partner, I think we've been pretty lucky that, we started this year because we've had a lot of wins that we've been able to call and a lot of really great teams with some excellent players on them. So,
couldn't agree with you anymore.
Very fortunate here.
Hopefully here we don't have to see the fall season end anytime soon.
Oh, yeah.
Although, if we are looking ahead to the winter season, and more specifically basketball, I know PW and Abington have had some solid basketball games in past years.
Huge matchups, as both teams are powerhouses.
That looks like a false start.
Yeah, both teams are powerhouses in their respected divisions, and both have produced some phenomenal college players and just some phenomenal players in general. Obviously, as we have a lot of big men coming out of both schools that have had some great matchups. So Colonials starting to drive off with a false start there.
Looks like they're going to bring the punt team out now. Which
yep, I would say if you're going to...
I agree with that decision there.
I wonder, Jack, do you think that was intentional? Just kind of...
Nah. If anything, you would try to go for a delay of game penalty.
I saw the Patriots a couple weeks ago did a similar play versus last week they did a play like that versus the Browns, and then they did the opposite. They did the delay game and then with a punt. So... Again, I like it. Don't force anything. You don't have to. Don't give up midfield, and
Oh, and that's another false start there.
Oh boy.
That one there by Nate Kern, number 46.
So penalties being a little bit more of a factor now. Just calm down. Remember that you still got a great lead, and so now Troy's gonna be punting from a little farther back, and I mean, I think that for sure. Colonials want to contain here. You don't want to give up anything on this kickoff. Then obviously, you want to hope that Troy really sends this one back far enough that Abington will have to do some work. And great punt there. That's muffed up, and the Colonials will recover that as they now get the ball at about the 36-yard line.
What a pivotal mistake there by the Ghost. I mean, he just had no shot of trying to catch that ball. He tried to lay out and dive for it. Not a smart play
Rolls in
at
front
all.
of them. Colonials are right there at that excellent special teams unit that is so quick, so able to just fire out of there and get right down and cover it. And
wow. I mean, that is just new life there. That is, whew.
I mean, that is... I know they're ghosts already, but I think that that might have made them even a little bit more dead.
I really did take the air out of this whole building.
That really, really hurts if you're the Ghosts. You finally started to get the game maybe rolling towards your side. You had 2 consecutive penalties that put the Colonials back so far. And then you muffed the punt. I mean, just costly mistake there by the Ghosts.
That'll drive a head coach crazy.
Oh, yeah.
McLaughlin keeps here.
Nice little pickup of about 3 there. Put the Colonials on the 33-yard line here in Abington's territory. So great spot to be in. Again, shoot clock, score points, and I
say even best case scenario here for the Abington defense, you force a 4-and-out or 3-and-out, you're still going to end up chewing off about 2 or 3 minutes of clock.
I mean,
That turnover really is a shot in the foot for them.
Oh, for sure.
Took away the momentum.
And I mean, that's been the statement of this game, really, is a lot of miscues have been costing them dearly. Dearly. And we have another give to Drez. He's working, trying to get that first down.
It's like a little short of the first. Third and 1 here. Definitely would expect to see another handoff to Drez or that signature option ran.
Yeah. I mean, maybe get Pacello in there, and, when you're expecting just a yard, he'll take it to the house.
For sure, 4-down territory, too. Or, I mean, it sounds crazy to punt in the other team's 30-yard line, but after what I just witnessed.
Yeah, I mean, hey, put yourself into the end zone. That'll be a first down for the Colonials easily with Drez. It's
great
funny.
Power running.
I actually forgot we have a special birthday shout-out. It's Mike Pacello's birthday today. So
that's correct.
Could you ask for a better birthday? Score 2 touchdowns in a playoff game? I mean.
I'll tell you this much. I don't think he would wish for 2 touchdowns on his birthday. He was going to wish for that win on his birthday.
Yeah. So, I mean, hoping the Colonials can pull out that one and really, just have a great day for him. Awesome way to go on the weekend. I always say with these Friday night games with whatever team's playing is, I mean, can you imagine a better Friday? You win and then you get to go into the weekend and rest up, feeling all great after that, especially a playoff win. Here's Christopher Pierce, the nice little handoff. So he's able to pick up almost a first down, if not at least 9 yards there. We'll see where they spot him.
Well, usually he'd be feeling sore on a Saturday morning, but I haven't seen him get brought down too many times so far, so I wouldn't expect to wake up too sore if I was him.
And it's great because, you were a little bit concerned. That elbow injury was so costly to him. He missed a decent amount of time. There are some question marks surrounding his ability to be able to have effectiveness in this game when he came back.
There was definitely a conversation about if him or Taramina should start at safety. Taramina filled in well. Looks like they went with him, which is paying out to be a solid decision at this point.
For sure. And, it's definitely seeming that he's just seamlessly come right back into this lineup at, one of the most important times to be able to. There's another give to Dresden, and he will get his 4th of the day. Wow.
So those points off turnovers will kill you every single time.
Oh, yeah, especially in high school football. And 5 for Drez. 5. I mean.
What a game. It takes the words out of your mouth. You just don't even know what to say.
I'm speechless. I guess the only thing I could say is go with that theme of Ghostbusters.
This is 4th score.
4 scores for Dresden.
He's got 4, Pacello has 2, and Pierce has 1.
Yeah. Obviously, with him leading the team in touchdowns, just like Ghostbusters, who are you going to call? Brian Dresden and this Colonials backfield. Says now, they didn't even update the scoreboard. I don't know if it goes past 50 because it says 49 after that. The Colonials now up. That's 55 to 28?
That was 49.
That was 49?
Yes.
Sorry, his team's scoring so much I can't even keep up with it.
There's a 3-possession lead here for the Colonials. I mean, I feel like if you're Abington, you're in panic mode right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just start heaving the ball down the field, but with the way the Colonial secondary is,
I mean, it's going to lead to mistakes regardless.
It's doable.
I think you're going to have a lot of players making a lot of movement, and I think, again, being that this could be your last moments on the field of this season, some players are going to be muffing some balls they don't typically do, and this is just it's not a great spot to be in if you're any team, and I don't know what happened with that sequence there. I gave Drez an extra touchdown, I gave the scoreboard an extra touchdown. I mean,
making up numbers at this point.
Yeah, maybe I'm seeing some ghosts.
I mean, I think it was clear though. I mean, it was plain and simple. The field position for the Colonials. You get new life. At the opponent's 35-yard line, roughly. You're gonna score that.
Beautiful. I mean, that was like. Right there, if you ever look up, squib kick in a dictionary, I think, if you do it online, there's a video of the word. That's it right there.
If you were to go play Madden and try to get a nice squib kick going, it would be just like that.
Oh, yeah, with the perfect timing on 100% and all that. I mean, that was perfection there. As Abington will be working from the 38-yard line. I mean, you hate to say it, but you're looking at Hail Mary almost. You have to score, immediately to even be close to this one. And
they still do have all their timeouts left. So, I mean,
that's true.
They could force Colonials to go 3 and out in one possession. They could barely lose any time on the clock there.
There's a nice little give there for a pickup of about 6.
It's interesting there to see him feed Wesh on that ball.
Yeah, I thought for sure they'd open up with the pass, but
I mean, I feel like a play like that, it's not going to pop off for, more than 10, 15 yards.
yeah,
They really don't seem to be in much of a rush at all.
yeah. I mean, they're down by a lot.
Down by 21 in a playoff game. I think there's a lack of urgency.
Yeah, at home. I mean, I think this goes to show, the lack of respect that was given to the Colonials offense, and I believe it'll be out of bounds. That we'll see what they waive it.
Zach Pacello kind of slipped up a little bit there. I don't know if that was a dive, but could have been either one. Incompletion, though, does stop the clock there at 8:19.
Yep. And as I was just saying, I think it shows, the lack of respect is given the Colonials offense, thinking that they'd only scored 21, is now they almost have broken 50. And again, you say to a team that has been scoring at will almost every game this year that they're only going to score 21. I think that definitely fired them up a little bit. And I mean, they've been playing great football, and they've been capitalizing every time they get an opportunity off those turnovers. And
something that's amazed me though is that and he dives to get out of the bounds there.
Catch for the first down. That'll be a pickup of about 6, I think.
Nice play there by Baker trying to get out of bounds. But anyway, as I was just saying, Abington's only been allowing 19 points per game. And for a team like the Colonials to walk in on your home field and drop 49, that's definitely got to hurt for some of these players who's going to be their last game. It's like he was not able to get out of bounds as the clock continues to run.
Yep, now under 8. Now they're looking past. I think the desperation's starting to set in a little bit.
They're at Baker again.
Found his man Baker. Shakes, and he's still going. It's a little bit of trouble tackling him down as he works in the Colonial red zone.
Yeah, soft coverage and poor tackling. It's never a great combination.
Nope. Ball now at about the 22.
That play, it looked like the Colonials were just lackadaisical with their 21-point lead.
That's a $10 word right there, Jack. And he's out running along that side. Pick up maybe a 2 there. The ball's out. Oh, gosh. And the
Colonials recover.
Jack, there's a line you told me a couple weeks ago. I think it's a little early. If you want to say it, I think you can now.
I don't recall it. Was it the fact that offense sells tickets, defense wins championships?
It was a line where you said, at this point of the game, they tell you can't call it, but I think I'm going to call it. This one, folks, the Colonials are able to take anything more than 3 minutes off. I think we're going to be celebrating here our first victory in what's been, I think, over 7 years now, our first playoff victory since our last one. So
close, but it's been actually over 20 years since the last PW football playoff win.
So we've made it to the playoffs, correct, but actually making it has been 20 years.
To win a playoff game, correct.
Wow.
I had the exact same reaction.
I mean, I know we produced some pretty good teams this past couple years, but wow. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this is exciting to cap it off like this on a road win.
I mean, that play really was the nail in the coffin. I mean, we just talked. I mean, I called the.
There's Dressel on the side. Oh boy.
I called the Colonials defense a little bit lackadaisical on that last one, and
then a fumble. And I believe
that
was that the third fumble by Abington's QB. I know he had the one that went above his head, and then I believe he had another one on a run going into the end of the second half. So his third.
First one that he lost. I don't know if you can credit the first one to him exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a really high snap.
But Abington also did lose the one ball on the punt.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's 5. Is it 4 or 5 fumbles on the game now total?
4 fumbles.
Yeah, so, I mean, it kills you. There's Christopher Pierce working out of the backfield as he's got some room. 50, 40, 30. Oh, and he's slowed down a little bit. 20. Let's see if they get him. 10. Great run there by Pierce.
I don't know if he's been conditioning with that dislocated shoulder, elbow, but
so he lost a little bit of wind and now he's down.
Oh, no,
we hope he's
not
okay.
What you want to see.
You hold your breath on plays like these. You hope he's all right. Maybe he just ran out of breath a little bit and lost some wind.
I just hope they did not re-aggravate that previous injury. I mean, he just worked so hard to be out here tonight.
And
is this play getting called back? And there's a
boy.
flag.
I
and
think we might have a hold on the
I
offense.
think they just called a chop block.
Oh, a chalk block. Yep. Hate to say it. I was going to say, I think that one might have put Christopher at almost 100 on the night in his first game back. And, yeah. Yeah, you do not like to see that one. Chop block. I think that's the first time I've ever called that in a game that we've called here. You really don't see that one too much in high school. It's more of a pro football kind of penalty that you see given up.
I'm watching him over on the sideline. I'm really not sure what his injury was. It doesn't look clear on what it is.
Honestly, with the way that the play happened, it was the player kind of not jumped on top of him, but the way he brought him down, it seemed that he brought him down rather quickly. And again, he's going full speed, and it's that impact with a cold ground against cold night. So the pads, and they're hitting you, they're a little bit colder. I mean, it was good to see him get up, walk off on his own power at a decent pace, and we hope he's all right. Obviously, as he'll be a crucial player here in a Colonial run. And then see here Dresden unable to pick up anything.
Looks like they finally got him bottled up for the first time tonight.
Yep, so 3rd and 13. And again, Colonials just demolishing the clock.
Chewing that clock. Really, I would not do anything crazy here to try to get a first down.
Nope, just kill clock. That or, I mean, again, just have another run that goes 50 yards down the field, and now they'll put you in a pretty good spot, too.
It's like the clock stopped here. I think, did Abington someone trying to call a timeout?
I'm not really sure. There's a little bit of confusion here.
See a little guy, number 23 here, wearing a white Abington jersey. He's trying to get out there. Maybe he can stop Drez.
Maybe. I don't want to directly say it, but I'm going to kind of say it. The officiating tonight has been a little bit sloppy. We've seen sometimes there's some trouble with ball placement, and then, with the clock. And now I believe they gave the Colonials now more additional time, and now the clock is running. So I'm not really sure what the confusion there was, but
I think you described it very well, calling it a sloppy game. It was definitely a fair game. You see penalties
for
on
sure.
both
I mean,
sides.
It was definitely a fair game. You didn't really see any bias or sway another way.
Wow, and they take a deep shot there intended for Lynch. Oh, that is a questionable call there by Chang. Wow.
But the officiators they've done their job, and just a little bit of stuff with ball placement and different stuff in between the clock, which you don't really love to see because both teams they're trying to work with the momentum. You have a play, you want to get another play off quickly, and then it gets stopped because of a little mistake like that. But I mean, again, when you have a game where the Colonials are up by this much, it doesn't really impact it too much.
Ghosts are subbing out their punt returner. Not shocking.
Nice little kick there that Colonials hope will roll a little more. Abington will start in their Blue has an almost
the Colonials 46,
almost
47.
40-yard kick there by Choi, and so we'll start in Colonial territory with 5 minutes here. So
talked about that field position battle. Looks like Abington can finally catch a break there.
Yeah.
Got that long run called back, and the defense was able to hold up, do the offense a favor for once.
I'm interested to see what Abington comes out with here. I'm intrigued.
If I'm Abington, I'm just going to start heaving the ball down the field. It looks like they will here, starting out with the empty backfield.
I told you I love trickery. We've said that a couple of times. I love it.
Who doesn't?
If you want to try it here, why not? There's a pass out again.
Looks like Pierce there slipped up on the grass. I feel like once I called out the
grass, they've been having some trouble.
Late first half, early second half, everyone starts slipping here.
Then 13, remind me, that was Drake?
That was Caleb Baker.
Baker, okay. I knew there was something with the AKE in there. Baker. We have another pass play here for the Ghosts. He's able to avoid the sack, and then he's immediately chased down, and he will be sacked.
That tackle there, that was made by Jack Hildebrand. What a play there for the junior.
One of the big-time influencers on this team, and I mean, I don't know if there's anything that kid loves as much as he loves playing on this football team. And
It's his first sack of the season. Couldn't come at a better time.
he's so key on that offensive line, and he contributes even more there on the defensive line.
We see him at lunch every day. He's always ready for game day.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be excited about talking about that one on Monday.
We'll never hear the end of that.
There's another pass here for the Ghosts. And
I was holding on Davis. The ref missed a call on that one.
Yeah, and there's another catch by Baker. You know what, Baker? He could go home and sleep like a baby. He's had a great game. He's had several really nice receptions off of some a little bit low passes, and he's I think he's broke almost 100 in receiving, and he's having a great night.
Yeah, him and Stone, man, that 1-2 combo. I mean, besides Berthew's 3 fumbles, he really has been playing a heck of a game.
I think he's thrown for almost 200 yards. So
yeah, I agree with that. Probably rushed for almost 100 also.
That's crazy in high school. That one goes up.
Deep shot for Stone. They were not on the right page there.
Yep.
See Stone start breaking towards the middle of the field. The throw hit the outside.
A little too much there. We're at the 3:38 mark here.
I mean, I think that was a great play call, too. Down 21, under 4 minutes
left.
left.
Go your man, Stone. I mean,
Take your deep shot.
He's been doing good. Yeah, I mean, in most games, when you're playing a team of a lesser quality than the Colonials, you score 28. You have a quarterback that runs for almost 100, passes for almost 200. You play a pretty solid game. You typically win, but it's just when you have a Colonial offense, it just puts up a barrage of 42 points. I mean,
it's the playoffs. You never know what's going to happen next here.
Yeah.
You got a 11 seed totally dominating the 6 seed up until this point in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Abington coming into this game, they were 8-2. They were able to win the SOL National Conference. 6-0 in that conference. I know there is going to be a realignment next year. I don't know exactly the specifics. I know that the Colonials are staying in their division. I feel like Cheltenham is leaving.
Yeah, so that definitely could play in the Colonials' favor, correct, and give them some opportunities to maybe have some more generous seating and play some better opponents. And we just got the alert, folks. And, boy, a doozy with Garnet Valley is they're able to win 53-0. And so the winner of this game, which, most likely will be the Colonials, we'll have the Colonials playing probably, or not probably, but definitely playing Garnet Valley as O.J. Roberts lost 43-0 to them. And, actually, a solid year by O.J. Roberts. They finished the year 8-3. I'm not really too sure. I think Garnet Valley was 8-2, so then they would now be 9-2. Again, putting up 43 and then getting the shutout there. They played I would assume, a probably almost perfect game. Here he's scrambling down towards the side. He's able to get the throw and the catch. I think that's Baker. No, another player. Jack, remind me who that is. Number 11.
Number 11 here, and I couldn't tell you.
Max Prep's, Abington, they're a little bit shoddy with their updating of the
Max
a
lot of their roster and their data wasn't even updated on there. So.
Yep. So I'm looking here now. O.J. Roberts would now be 9-2 playing the Colonials, and so I mean, I'm sorry. Garnet Valley's 9-1, so they're now 10-1 playing the Colonials. So if the Colonials win this, obviously they would be 10-1, and then it'd be a matchup with 2 juggernauts. There's a pass to the outside. So you know what, Abington, you have all the stuff going wrong for you. You are producing a nice drive here as they're trying to just score, have a nice note to kind of end this night on.
Well, it's not over till it's over. And
that's true.
I feel like if that Pierce touchdown call never got, or the Pierce 60-yard run were never get called back, I might consider calling it over. But I think when you have the ball, it's only 3 possessions. I mean, it is a lot to score with under 3 minutes, but don't want this to come back and haunt you tonight.
That's true. The ghost of the ghosts.
You're going to have to call Brian Dresden and the rest of the Ghostbusters over to help you out.
Yeah. Phew. I guess you could call it Dresden Vankman maybe. And then maybe McLaughlin will be Egon. And a great catch by Baker.
Jeez.
You know what, folks? I could see this kid going somewhere. I mean, he's playing at the level that you would see out of sometimes, Division I, Division II receiver. If this kid, is he a senior, Jack, or junior?
He's actually a junior.
So he's a junior. He's only going to get better from here. This kid's got a potential. I mean, he's looking amazing tonight. Again, over 100 yards, 2 TDs, both off of amazing catches that he almost had to make the play for entirely. He's special, as Baker can, he definitely could go to sleep great tonight knowing that he played his heart out and he had a highlight reel night that I'm sure his Huddle account will appreciate, being able to have some colleges seeing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, credits to him. I mean, you got to give credit to the secondary where it's due. Yeah, it goes down as a receiving touchdown, but it was just a great throw and catch. There's nothing you could do there.
I mean, again, you're in high school football. You don't have Stephon Gilmore out there, Jalen Ramsey breaking up plays, and it's, some of the calls some of the formations you have, they're just not quite at the level of development, that you see in some of these NFL teams call. That, I mean, it's like watching art. Some of these formations that some of these teams use in the NFL.
To this much, though, this Abington crowd has not given up yet to this point.
Yeah, I mean,
I still feel the ground shaking beneath me, and
hear the band and the cheerleaders, and I mean, I know I keep saying it every week. I say it. Maybe we'll see an onside here.
You want to see an onside?
I do. I just there's something about it. I want to see a team just try it, just so that I can feel a little bit better. I think here you almost have to at 240 if you want a chance. Bounces up, gets off the
bounces
Colonial
off Hannon, but that is recovered.
So you get a little scared because it did Hannon, but able to be recovered there by the Colonials. And now all they got to do is just work this clock down to the expiration. And it is only a 2-score game, and Abington really, considering that they've faced a Colonial team that just tonight came out and played a little bit better. 35 versus a team like this, you're still happy. That's still a good note to go out on. And
I mean, just such a versatile quarterback like Berthew. I mean, it was going to be hard to contain, which forcing turnovers really was the difference maker for them.
I mean, with that realignment, if we were to end up facing a squad like this, I mean, they won't go away. They will not. I feel like they have a lot of really good juniors here that next year could be very good. And there's Pacello. Pacello going down the sideline, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Pacello, the birthday boy.
Happy birthday, Mikey Pack.
Pac-Man, baby. He's eating up some ghosts right now. That's his 3rd touchdown of the game, correct?
And if you look out on the field here, I see something here I just noticed. I noticed Dan Cayley dropped down to a knee and pointed up to the sky. McLaughlin came over to hug him. Dan Cayley really shown a lot about how much he loves the sport. He recently lost his father in this past week, but he's still out here playing a lot. Honestly, great respect to him. I mean, he had such a great relationship with his father, who was such a great man, who I was personally able to know just through baseball, playing all throughout middle school with him. So honestly, it's just really great. I mean, I feel like, winning a playoff game 56-35, that's a great feeling. But just for Danny to, be able to go out there and do it for his dad like that, I feel like this is bigger than football and what we're seeing tonight.
For sure, and all of us here in Colonial District and CITV wish nothing but best wishes, offer up our prayers and intentions to him and his family, and just obviously trying to offer him as much support as possible. And obviously it's such a tough situation to have to go through, and we wish nothing but the best for Dan.
I mean, this team, when you say a team's bonded like a family, this team really is truly bonded as a family.
Especially football. You're out there, the guy next to you, he's your brother. With a lot of these linemen, they're the ones that keep a lot of these players with having such great nights like our running backs are having, and there's something special about that you don't get in any other sport with the camaraderie of football, and just that sheer, and you're training on those hot days in August together, and you really come together over this season, and obviously you're 4 years playing, and really special stuff.
I mean, I feel like I remember I was just talking to some of the players here, and I know They even went to the trainer AJ. I know her husband also passed away, and the funeral services was this morning. They all went together as a team. They were all there for each other. Even, a trainer like AJ, they really are family.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them are always there for each other, and it's great to see them, be able to continue on how great they've been.
Yeah, again, and then with that being said, again, obviously just offering our full support and best wishes for both AJ and Dan. Obviously, unfortunate situation, and two fantastic people that are very strong and are key parts of this Colonial squad.
Couldn't agree with you more. Now here we go, Abington back on offense with the empty backfield.
And there he's trying to get away from the sack here. And he's leveled by two Colonial defenders there.
Davis and Kern there on the sideline. And also see here on the sideline for Abington, number 12, Nasir Jones, just spiked a helmet and kicked it a solid 10 yards.
Yeah, so it's looking like
would have been one of the first downs for Abington here.
Some of the emotions are running a little bit high here towards the end of this one. And
I mean, he's a senior, so this could be his last football game of his career. So I feel like that's not crazy to see. Looks like Abington calls another timeout here. The minute 49 left in the fourth.
We see on the sidelines there's some players are rubbing each other's backs. Some helmets are down for Abington. It's not the way you want to end your year, especially if you're a senior. And it's one of the things again with this sport. These players put their hearts and their souls into it, and every game is just you put so much emotion into it. And again, it's so impressive because they're students in addition to that. Mm-hmm. They have so much dedication to this, and they're going to class. And some of them are working jobs in addition, and I mean it's just an amazing testament to these players' character.
I feel like I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like that's something we tend to forget here, and especially some players working on playing at the next level, trying to prepare for that, show off for the scouts, do all that, still help their team win. It really is a lot for these players. So absolute all the credit in the world to them for what they're doing.
Now less than a minute 50 here. There's a run to Abington, again stuffed up. You like to see it. The Colonial defense are still not allowed an inch. They're still being stingy down there, and you like to see that, obviously.
Something here that I'm actually I kind of just realized here is the Colonials. Ben Felgois has not touched the ball tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, they scored 56 points without him, but just looking back here on the season stats, I mean, he does have a solid 123 yards coming to this game. I know he broke off for a long touchdown against Quakertown a couple weeks ago.
Great run.
There's Ahmed Stone there on the reception. He breaks a couple tackles.
He works to about the 43 there.
He gets out of bounds, even more important.
I actually last week was able to get an interview with several of the seniors and their parents, and you could just see the love of this game that not only the players but the families have, and with a season like this at Colonial, like you were saying with coaching and everything, it's really the whole just entirety of everything, and the parents and how much time they put into this, and everybody involved on that sideline, and I mean it is a big coalition force here that makes this team what it is. And again, going from last year, the rough year that they had, to then again, what we might be looking at is one of the best teams Colonials produced. Definitely,
This wasn't by accident, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
Deep ball here.
And we almost get an interception there by the Colonials. Almost a little bit of redemption there for the secondary.
I'll tell you this much. The success that we're having this year is not by any accident. I know all throughout the winter and spring, they had weight room, I believe, 3 days a week, every single week. Then they had mini camp in late May. Weight room and I think some football. I think it was no pads kind of drills on the beginning of the summer. 2 of the days, heat week in August. Just so much training and so much work put in. And I'm just glad to see that all of this really paid off for them. It was such an investment in time, and it paid out big time.
Pass incomplete there, intended to Baker. Jack, it's funny you said that. I'm kind of curious if we're not talking about an NFL team. I mean, that is That is really some dedication there.
And, I mean, let it be known here. I mean, they're student athletes. And
Yep.
probably most of them participating in other extracurriculars. Only 52 seconds left here in the game. Colonials up by 21. It's 3rd and 10. I'll tell you this much. I could hear a pin drop in the stadium right now.
I mean, it's just these are moments.
It's something sad to see, these guys last time ever being out here.
Great catch by Stone. Is Stone a senior?
Stone, he is a senior. Yes, he
Okay,
is.
so you know what? He has nothing to hang his head on either. He went out and he balled on his last game here as a senior, and I mean he had a great night with several very nice runs and even better catches, and you do feel for these players on the other team. I mean, again, coming off an 8-2 year, they were working, I'm sure almost as hard as the Colonials, if not equally. Oh, and almost another pick there by the Colonials.
Slipped right through the hands of Taramina. He had a pick 6 last week against Happel Horsham. It's about an 80-yard return.
Ghostbusters were called and they answered.
Haven't watched that movie in about 8 years, so
Really?
something like that.
Have you seen part 2?
I haven't watched the original in 8 years. You know much in part 2?
Yeah, I like them. They're pretty good. Got some good quotes in there.
Empty backfield here. Berthew looking deep.
Another completion at Baker's. He's trying to get into the end zone.
Brought down just a few yards short.
30 seconds. You know what? Come on, Abington. Get in there. Let's have a touchdown party.
I think someone bet the over on this game.
I mean, I think we reached that almost 20 minutes ago, but if there was an extreme over for sure. I mean
91 points total. That's impressive here for a high school game. A true shootout.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Abington hasn't given up. Looks like they called a timeout. I think Abington's head coaches are with you there on the over.
Yeah, for sure. Touchdown party on a Friday. I know that everybody had their Halloween parties yesterday, but why not have it be a 2-day celebration?
There's a senior skip day today, and all these football players had to miss out with their friends and go to school today.
Yeah, and again, showing that dedication. You could have had a great fun night on Halloween, but what did you do? You stayed home, you rested, and you got ready to play a playoff football game the next day. I think Drez was out there as Michael Jackson trick-or-treating.
See, I think if Drez were to go trick-or-treating, he would be Michael Jackson, but there's no way. He did not go out.
There's a touchdown for the Ghosts by 7 there. And so, you know what? Good note to end on. Good note to end on there for the Ghosts,
Brings it up to 97 total pending the PAT.
98. And you score 42, most times you're going to win the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
How much did who was it? It was Garnet Valley. Didn't
43.
they have 43?
Yeah, you would have lost by
Going up,
one
yeah.
in that one. In most cases with the Colonials, they won a lot of games in that 40 range, and so definitely
Averaging 40.8 points per game.
Yeah, Abington with a nice little drive there.
I think if they recover this onside kick, I think you're going to regret rooting for him here to score that touchdown.
I mean, 28 seconds, a lot can happen in football. Believe it or not. I mean, 28 seconds in real time, it's like a sip of a water, and then you're done. But
I don't know the high school football rules by the back of my hand, but in the NFL you can't advance an onside kick attempt.
Yeah.
Meaning you can't onside kick it, recover it, and then run with it.
Yeah.
I think maybe if it's a forced fumble, though, you can.
Yeah, so.
But I wouldn't expect a forced fumble. If I was Colonials player, I would just get down.
Yeah. Now, folks, this is interesting. McLaughlin is out on the field right now.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right.
Squatting down right now.
So I'm intrigued as to why the starting quarterback is here for this.
It's part of the hands team, maybe. Maybe they like his
so.
catching ability. I mean, he's pretty tall out there.
All I say is, goodness gracious, please allow him to be safe. You do not want your quarterback getting hurt in a situation like this.
Got a chance to seal the deal here if you're the Colonials.
Yep. Wow.
That's a laser, and that is caught by the Colonials. Kneel down. Great play there by Duran, hauling that in. The tight end here, grabbing the final play.
I'm not going to lie, Jack. I'm a little bit jealous. You're going to get to interview Drez coming up shortly, and I'm sure he's going to have some great stuff to say about this one.
Yeah, and I mean, it was, if I'm a Colonials player, man, I wouldn't be any prouder of myself. You know, you almost played basically a perfect game here against an Abington team that was seeded much better than you, and
come onto their home turf, you know, and
home grass.
Yeah, home grass rather, yeah, and get the job done.
I'm just super proud to be here right now. I mean, it's thanks to you and the rest of the CITV crew.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Peeler, Lucas Soa, Mr. McWilliams, allowing us to be out here right now.
Especially big shout out to Mr. McWilliams and Lucas being up there on that roof. It is freezing cold. This entire game has just been really rough, and we're pretty fortunate to be in the box while they're both out there toughing it out, getting this awesome footage, and can't wait to get this one posted up there, and obviously everyone that edits all these game parts and stuff for the game, and so we'll see you down there shortly, partner.
All right, man, I just wanted to say, man, it's on my final note, they played a pretty much perfect game. They utilized the option well, all phases of the game. Offense, was able to score in the first, 6 out of 7 possessions. Defense, they were able to force a couple turnovers, keep the momentum. Special teams always set them up with great field positioning. And finally, the coaching, just the use of the option and how well that was ran.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you know what? Giving out 42 isn't great, but when you score 56, it's even better. So, yep, we'll be ready for some post-game analysis shortly, folks. So we'll see you then.
Drez, that was arguably your greatest game of the season so far. What's going through your head at this point?
Well, honestly, this is almost a surreal moment. I mean, it feels like it's out of a movie for us to come out here, and everybody had us losing. We were big underdogs. I think like a couple sites pegged it as that we were going to lose by 21 points. And I said last week when I hit my 1,000 yards, I said this is the greatest moment of my life. But now tonight, this is an even better moment. I think that's just amazing. I never expected it, and it's so amazing.
Was your preparation going into this playoff game different from any other game this season?
No, I think our preparation stayed the same. We stuck to what we knew, and Coach Chang told us before this game in the locker room, he said, go out there and play this game like every other game. Just go out there and have fun and play loose, and I think that's what we did. And because we played loose, I think we played better.
And do you guys know who you're playing yet?
Garnet Valley.
Yeah. So do you have any message you would want to send to them?
Well, I'm not going to send them any message, but I'm just going to say, like I always say, we're going to come out, we're going to have fun, and we're going to try our best.
Thanks a lot, Brian. You did great, man.
Thank you, Jack.
That was a powerful performance by Plymouth Whitemarsh on both sides of the ball. Next week, they play Garnet Valley and hope to recreate that performance. Thank you to everyone who watched, and I hope to see you guys again next week.